In this tutorial, we're going to talk about links. Now, HTML gives us the ability to work with multiple web pages by linking them together. So we can write HTML documents and link them to other HTML documents or other web resources as well. Now, what I mean by web resources are like other HTML files. Could be a HTML file, it could be an image, it could be a sound file, or it could be a video file, or it could be a software. So whatever file we may be linking our web page to is usually known as a web resource. Okay, so we're gonna pretty start off with simple HTML template, which I'm gonna call links example 1. I'm gonna put my body tags over here and close my body tags. So now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna put some basic text, so which I'm gonna say click here to see the other page. Okay, let's give this page a background color. So I'm gonna say bg color equals ash. Let's give it a yellow background color, so let's say FFFF. I'm gonna say 55. Okay, so I'm gonna save this file as, I'm gonna save it in my desktop inside my examples folder. Then I'm gonna call it example6.html. I'm gonna click on save. So I'm gonna go over to my examples directory. I'm gonna run example6.html on the web browser. Okay, so here is our text. Click here to see the other page. Now what I want to do is to make click here to be a link to another page. So before I make click here to be a link, I'll have to create the other page first, then I make click here to be a link to the other page that I'll create. Okay, let's check it out. So I'm gonna open up a new Notepad++ document. Then I'm gonna save it as example7.html. I'm gonna click on save. I'm gonna copy the basic HTML tags that I have here to save me some typing because I'm getting lazy. I'm gonna call this links example 2. I'm gonna give this other page a different background color. Let's make it a green. So I'm gonna say 55FF55. That's a light green. So I'm gonna change the text here and say this is the other page. Okay, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna run the example7.html. So you can see this is the other page. So what we intend to do is to make this to become a link such that when it is being clicked, it takes us here. Okay, so I'm gonna close this and we are gonna focus on this. So we go back to our example6.html, which is our link example 1, and then we're going to put our a tags. Now we use the a tags to denote a link, so we will have to put the href attribute of the a tags, and then the value of the href attribute, the value that will go in here, will be the file name of the resource that we are linking the page to, and in this case it's gonna be example7.html. So we'll simply type example7.html. I'm gonna click on save. Then I'm gonna refresh this, and you can see click here is underlined, and you can see the hand that is showing, which indicates that this is clickable. Okay, as the hand on my mouse cursor. So I'm gonna click on that, and it takes us to the other page. Okay, let's go back again. This is the example 6.html. When I click on that, it takes us to example 7.html, which is the other page. Alright, so that's basically how links work. Now the next thing I'd like us to see is how to make an image to become a link. So I'm gonna go over to Notepad++. I'm gonna create a new file. Let's call this file example 8.html. I'm gonna click on save. I'm gonna copy all this HTML text. Then I'm gonna paste it. I'm gonna call this links example 3. Then let's change the background color, make it a little different. So let's put this. I'm gonna save this. Now I would like us to display a text that will, once when clicked, it will take us to an image. Okay, so let's click here to view the image. Okay, then we'll have to make click here to be a link. So to do that again, we use the a href tags. Okay, so I'm gonna put the href tags here, the href attribute. Then I'm gonna specify an image. So I'm gonna go to the examples directory, and I have the images folder. Then I'd like to link that page to penguins.jpg down here. Okay, remember I have the images folder, so I want to link example 8 to the penguins image that is inside the images folder. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to Notepad++. Then I'm gonna put penguins.jpg. Then I'm gonna save it. Then I'm gonna launch example 8.html. So to launch example 8.html, I'm gonna write double click on example 8.html, and this shows up on the web browser, and we can see our link here. Now I'm gonna click on the link, and oops, this shows file not found. Okay, so that's an error. That's because there is no file in the examples directory called penguins.jpg. There is no such file. If you look at my examples directory, you won't see any file called penguins.jpg. But instead, we have a subdirectory called images, where we have our penguins.jpg. So the problem we had is because this code was pointing directly to penguins.jpg. We skipped the directory, the images directory. That's the subdirectory, which is inside examples we have images. Okay, so we'll have to specify the image directory before the penguins.jpg. So we do that by typing image/penguins.jpg. Then we'll go back to the web page and refresh this. So this is gonna take us to image/penguins.jpg. So when I click on that, oops, now that is saying file not found is because I made a mistake. It should have been images. Okay, the name of the directory is images, not image. So you see, any little misspelling will make it not to work. So just a little s here is making it not to work. So we have to get our spellings right. Okay, so I'm gonna save that, go back to the web page, refresh, and I'm sure I'm gonna get it this time. So I'm gonna click here, and you can see the penguins image showing here, and we are on penguins.jpg. So this is another web resource which we've linked this web page to. Okay, the next thing I'd like us to try is to make an image like this penguins.jpg to become a link. So we'll do that by going over to Notepad++ and create a new file. I'm gonna call this example 9.html. I'm gonna save it. Then I'm gonna copy the basic HTML text. I'm gonna call this links example 4, or let me just simply call this image link. Okay, that's cool. So now we're gonna set up an image in here and make it to be a link. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So what I'm gonna have here is the img tag. Then we put the source attribute of the img tag to be linking to images / penguins.jpg. Okay, so you remember that file name. Okay, so let's run example 9.html and see what we've got. So I'm gonna run example 9.html and we have the penguins image displayed here. Okay, this is the examples title image link. Alright, now with the next thing we need to do is to make this image to become a link, which we're gonna do right now. So to make it a link, we simply wrap the A text around it. Okay, then we're gonna put the href attribute, and I'll simply link it to, I like it to take us back to a links example 1, okay, which is example 6.html. So I'm gonna call put example 6.html. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna go over to the web browser and refresh, and when I bring my mouse over here, you can see the hand indicating that this image is a link. So again, I can click on it and it takes us to links example 1, which is example 6.html, and you can see this yellow page down here. So I'm gonna go back to try it again, bring my mouse, click on it, I see myself in the yellow page, and again this yellow page is also linking to another page which still works. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So you can see how to make an image to become a link is as simple as making any text to become a link. Alright, so the last thing I'd like us to try is how to make a web page to link up to another kind of file, like a PDF file. Okay, I'm not gonna try all the different kinds of files that we have, because we have so many kinds of files out there on the web, but let's try a PDF file for now. At least this one will give you a preview of how it works with any other file. So I'm gonna create a new HTML document which I'm gonna save as example 10.html. So I'm gonna click on save, and we have example 10.html. I'm gonna copy the basic HTML files. So I'm gonna call this PDF link because we are gonna link it to a PDF file. Let me just change the color a little bit. Alright, so I would like us to put some text here. So I'll say click here to see the PDF file, right? Alright, so the href attribute should contain the file name of the PDF file. So let's go to my examples directory and see if we have a PDF file. So here's the PDF file which I copied down here. It has this file name a+hardware blah 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 .pdf. Okay, you can also see that it's an Adobe Acrobat document, which means I've installed Adobe Acrobat PDF reader in my system, which is the default document that will open my PDF files for me. So I'm going to copy the file name, go over to the code, I'm going to paste it in the place of example 6.html. Okay, so This is the full file name of the PDF file, right? And the click here will be the link. Okay, so let's run example 10.html and see what we've got. So I'm gonna run example 10.html. This is the web page. This is the click here. So I click on the link and it loads the PDF file. Okay, so here's the PDF file you are seeing. It's actually a plus hardware tutorial. Okay, so that's it on links. It's pretty simple to use a link in HTML. All you need to learn is the ahref tags, and that's it. So I hope you found this tutorial informative, and thanks for viewing.